Where is my draft?
I put it in the channel.
Oh, I see. I was getting DMs before. I was being a caster passenger princess.
Which channel? Oh, I see.
All right,
This.
excellent.
Okay. So this is just the draft. This is in order of
Yeah.
how they went. Okay. Ole Miss on the
First
blue
pick is weird.
side.
It's crazy.
And that's literally been Uncle Sam's or Marty's thing though. Just pick me as ear. Like unironically, he's still like, I think he's still haunted by when they played Winthrop and like at game 5, I think he picked like Ziggs.
Oh yeah.
Or something. So he's just like, I think he's literally played like 100 games of Azir or something in solo queue. Something crazy like that.
He's been jamming a lot. He has played so differently. He is playing with like measured aggression now. Like whereas before, Ole Miss was obviously a very aggressive team, but Uncle Sam was like the one who really wasn't aggressive. It felt like he was always like a little timid to make things happen. And it just felt like there was no confidence around him, right? Like they weren't confident in him, and he wasn't confident in himself. Yeah. But all of that has changed. He's flipped the script in 3 OQ games. And guess what, guys? We're going to find out if he's going to flip the script in a 4th one here. Again, just, soak in this draft for a second. Zyra getting picked up for the side of Ole Miss here. I haven't seen this champion in high-level play in some time.
I think, honestly, one of the people that I expected to bring it out as well is Rhino, right? The champion Ocean guy himself. I mean, he recently has just hit, like, I think, rank 10 in NA solo queue. He's the #1 support in North American solo queue at the moment. I could be wrong if the numbers have updated, but as of like today, when I saw him posting on Twitter, he has been grinding as well. It feels like everyone on Ole Miss's side has been grinding a ton of solo queue, has been playing a bunch of different champions, and have kind of just have a fire lit under them that I haven't actually seen from this team in a very long time. And I'm actually really surprised that they didn't bust the Zyra out sooner. But I think this was just like one of those picks where, like, if you're 3-0, you're going for that 4-0, 5-0 kind of run, then yeah, this is one of those champions that you can pick up. It's a good counter into things like the Kalista, like the Renata, right? Riley's rush, Zyra just kind of ruins everything Kalista wants to do, right? She is so heavily gated by her move speed that the moment you drop the plants, you drop the ultimate, Kalista literally cannot do anything in those fights.
Yeah, I think another thing to add on to that as well is, out of all of the players who have been like succeeding in solo queue, it's Marty who's had the least success in solo queue. And this is the player that was formerly 1000 LP, was able to get really high up there in solo queue as well, but just couldn't get it together on the comp stage. Now the script has flipped here. Marty's stuck in Masters and he's playing like he's a challenger mid laner at this point. It's fantastic to see this sort of dichotomy come through from Ole Miss. But of course, we got to look at the opposite side here, because FlyFam, they've got a roster filled with some really, how do I say this, legacy names.
They got old heads. They got old heads.
They got old heads.
They got Dinka up in the top lane. Dinka starting his competitive journey in 2018. They have Goo in the jungle. He started his competitive journey in 2020. Guys, that's 4 years ago now, thinking about it. Comp 9 has been around since 2019. Like, these guys were playing pre-COVID into the COVID times. I think BMFX is the one with the smallest rap sheet here who started his comp journey in 2021. When that is the player on your team that has the least experience, and they've got 3 years of experience, they've been on CLG Faith, they've been on 100 Thieves Academy, they've been on Wildcard. Listen, you can hang your hat on a guy like him, and of course you can't forget running out at the support role, SkyTech, and how good of a player SkyTech has been in his time in competitive. One of the guys to pioneer Vice support.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bunch of picks.
It's so funny because he's just been like through the amateur ring, right? You got AoE, EG Prodigies, back to AoEs on Slew, right? It's very successful collegiate program right now. I mean, he's just kind of gone through everything. And yeah, old heads is the best way to characterize this roster, but it doesn't mean they're bad. It just means that they haven't really competed in OQs in a while. And I don't think I'm actually surprised that this roster is doing good, but I think a lot of people probably underwrote FlyFam a little bit coming into the OQs. I think they would expect them to go like 3-2 or maybe even 2-3 if you talk to some people, but I like them. I like them. I like these old heads coming in. The game hasn't changed that much for these guys to come in and slot themselves in. And I like the composition that they have, right? The Xerath Lee Sin, super strong 2v2, can punish this here, even if he's farming under turret. You have a way to kind of poke him out. And the Azir Xerath matchup, it's supposed to be Xerath favored in lane at least. And then kind of when it comes into that mid to late game team fights, you've really got to be on point with all your spells because every single ability is a skill shot. So I want to see Comp9 kind of bring out the mechanics and maybe get even banned for scripting.
Maybe he will get banned for scripting, or maybe Ole Miss will be able to buy boots, Xerath's biggest counter. Shibby, Adam, we are getting on to Summoner's Rift here. That's enough about the draft. Let's sink our teeth into this game. Fly Fam versus Ole Miss. Both of these teams 3-0, looking for a 4-0 start. And as much as I love Ole Miss, I did say that Fly Fam was going to be a 7-16 seed that was going to go 4-1 or better. And they're on the cusp of making me look like a genius.
I think a really interesting thing about this draft as well, sort of looking back at this, is Dinka opts for the Fiora. And Fiora's a champion that we haven't seen a whole lot of. These carry top laners, specifically in the Fiora matchup into tanks, you normally expect that to just be a free matchup, but Udyr is one of those champions that you can't really bully as easily, especially in the early stages where Fiora can struggle. Stray is here on the bottom side. It's a 5-stack, and they're looking for the Kalista early, potentially, trying to get BMFX behind as much as possible. Granted, as you talked about, Shibby, Rhino is going to have a field day into Kalista Renata here with the Zyra because there's just so much crap that BMFX and Skytech have to deal with.
That's the word, right? Crap, molasses, Legos,
There's
sand,
junk everywhere.
quicksand. Yeah, just absolutely. It's like a 3-year-old's playpen, right? And I think that's the issue with this Kalista Renata lane, because Renata is also so low range that she can kind of just go in and die to Varus and Zyra. Like, what is she going to do here?
Well, you can at least do a little bit of damage. And keep in mind, once they hit level 2, you get that bailout tech. The only problem is they've already taken a lot of damage this early, right? So the thing that you love seeing, oh, we're going to go shove them under turret and then we're going to dive them with bailout, they might not be able to do that this time around.
Yeah, especially if you get caught up with the plans. Although Skytech doing a good job here, just kind of bullying. And I want to circle back to that point that you mentioned, that Udyr in the top lane, one of my favorite champions, double-edged sword for me because I like him in the jungle. But he's one of those champions that it's so hard to wrestle that lane priority away from. That's why you don't see these carry matchups, because realistically, he's gonna Phoenix Dance, he's gonna double Phoenix Dance, and you're just gonna get burned to death. Oh, you want to trade with him? Empowered W, a giant 3,000 health shield. Like, it's so hard. This champion is so oppressive. I'm happy that everybody's starting to pick up on the greatness of Udyr.
And I think Dinka already starting to feel the ill effects of it. Remember, this is 14.4, so a little bit of a nerf to Fiora's riposte there. I think it only cuts your attack speed by 25% instead of 50%. That kind of matters into Udyr, who, you throw out your Phoenix Stance, whatever, that's your sort of main trading pattern. But hey, all of a sudden, these auto attacks are going to come through a little bit quicker here. He just stands there menacingly. Look at these junglers. They're both on the bottom side as well, though, and this could be a quick 3v3.
Fireworks are coming through. Rhino going to get engaged on it. Rhino is low, and Rhino is dead. First blood going over to BMFX. They could not take out Skytech on the way back, but they slay Nikiro. Not able to do much more. Shogo just level 2 right now. Varus does not do enough.
Really well played from Skytech and this Fly Fam.
Uncle Sam!
Right? Oh, wait, Sam?
Uncle Sam sliding through Comp9's DMs and is able to take him down in the 1v1. Isolating Kuro looking to get the kill on the Goo, and from long distance, Shogo gets the job done.
Yeah, Shogo, more like Shogu, maybe? Just takes him down after that one. That was terrible. Nonetheless, Stray is proxying Dinka. Dinka's not having a good time. Dinka wants off this wild ride already, as this Udyr versus Fiora matchup has gone far astray. Of note, Dinka had counter in this matchup.
Stray might die. Stray might die here.
Yeah, he's between a rock and a hard place. He is trying to weave around as much as he can, but they are going to give this one over to Goo. Dinka might have actually died if he went for that any further, though.
Yeah, a little overzealous. The death timers aren't that long, even if the jungler dies here. But let's flash back a little bit. Wait a minute, Rhino looking for another kill, trying to punish the flashless Xerath.
He will take a little bit of damage for his trouble, but luckily they did not engage on that because Goo would have caused a lot of problems.
Yeah, and I'm just, like you said, impressed with Uncle Sam finding that solo kill onto Comp9. I mean, this guy is just playing really well in a matchup that is supposed to be unfavorable.
Comp9, yeah, he's so dead. Isolating Hero finds a nice engage. Skytech is there, and a great handshake, but an even better root coming out from Rhino, and Uncle Sam picks up kill number 2.
Yeah, your Uncle Sam. We'll keep going back to it. Your father, Sam, he's putting Comp 9 in the baby stroller saying, get in, kids. We're going for a ride. And this is Azir already doing so much work in the early game. This is not where you expect Azir to flourish. Something else to note as well, Dinka wasn't able to find a favorable reset off of straight dying there because the wave was pushed all the way in, forced to teleport back. Now has that Vamp Scepter. At the very least, should be able to survive this lane a little bit better, but Stray is perfectly happy to just go to Brawl Town here against Dinka.
Yeah, the empowered W shield negates all trading power. By the time this Fiora is ready to fight, Stray will have another pair of like the plated steel caps. He's gonna have the empowered Ws. He's finally trying to get some autos off, but it doesn't matter, right? Stray confidently and comfortably in that low HP range. That's what Udyr wants. He wants to bait you into that comfort zone so that he can hit you with those empowered abilities. And yeah, I think Ole Miss just playing it so well right now. Other than that little bot lane mishap, well played from Skytech. I signed Akira once again, finding opportunities. Uncle Sam just making his own. Look at him burn away! Look at him burn away!
I love it whenever he switches into Phoenix stance as well. Sometimes he just growls at Dinka, and it's like, oh, what do you do? What are you supposed to do?
Rhino with a nice sidestep there, but he does not have flash available. He can't sidestep everything in BMFX, getting his second kill of the game.
I feel so bad because I talked up Rhino. I was like, oh, the support top 10 in Challenger, #1 support, and he's kind of out of place, right? Wrestling for that
trying
vision.
to end his game. They're
Dinka.
trying to end Dinka's game. Slaney no flash available, but he's just like, yeah, I just want some EXP, please. He is going to get slowed up. Good riposte, but it's not going to be enough. He is to force it to flash there. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Dragon getting secured there by Goo. So
Need to go for
time
grubs.
not spent on the grubs. And Shibby, I know you have strong opinions on that.
We need to go for it. You need to get this trade going, especially if Stray has just such a big lead here. Comp 9, though, with ultimate.
Yeah, they realize that Islanic Hero is still in the area, which means there's not a whole lot that you can do. Comp 9 can try to get whatever poke he wants off, but, you know, overall, I think Ole Miss is pretty okay with that. This big threat, Fiora, kind of getting neutralized. Meanwhile, bottom side, shut down, going over to Rhino. Oh my god, Rhino's got 2. Shogo is out of mana, though. He needs to try to do something, try to run away, try to run to his buddy, Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam, the hero, sliding in, will find his 3rd kill of the game.
Beautiful ultimate from Shogo. Off the level up, by the way. Immediately ults Goo there and is just able to stall enough time for Uncle Sam to come in, get a kill. We also see the grubs being taken, so kind of across each lane, Ole Miss has just been doing wonders, right? Whether it's grabbing objectives in the top side, Stray just dominating in the 1v1, or Uncle Sam just 3-0 right now on the Azir in the early game, like you mentioned, Adam. That's uncharacteristic. That's unheard of. This guy is primed to carry. Now, do the pants fit is the real question.
Of course they fit. It seems as if they do, considering these last 3 games. Your Uncle Sam has been fantastic at translating these leads into agency in the later stages. We just saw it, 20 minutes ago in that game against Polestar, where he's able to get 3 kills on the Orianna, and these shockwaves end up having so much value in the fight. Once again, right now, Shogo is doing fine. He's got his item. Rhino had a really tough time in that laning phase, as can be expected if you get a lot of attention. But look at Stray. Look at this huge wave that he's able to pick up from Dinka. Dinka lucky to get 1 CS out of the whole thing. Oh. And look at the health bar. It's just gone. He got 2.
Yeah, Dinka does not have a health bar. Dinka could be in a little bit of trouble here. Stray doing a lot to him and running him down. And, you know, one thing you mentioned, Adam, that the pants do fit Uncle Sam. Are you sure? He might have to undo the belt buckle, how fed he is. The bottom lane here, Roots coming out, Goo coming through, and will be able to take out Shogo, but will lose his life for it. Rhino very low, but will be able to survive through that Lee Sin kick.
I respect that from Goo, right? You got to go for that, take Shogo out, miss that huge wave while it's shoving in. Yeah, it trades back, but it doesn't really go to anybody too worthy. But Uncle Sam, yeah, like you said, he's going to undo the belt buckle. He's got blue buff as well, so he's just putting the pressure on. And the thing about FlyFam's composition is that despite Xerath being long range, everybody else needs to play pretty close to you. So this lethality build from Shogo and obviously Azir with Uncle Sam, they're just going to be able to poke you from so far away before you're allowed to fight. And what is Stray going to do? Be this menace in the side lane. Goo has to answer, and if he does, there is very good reason for them to get 1v2'd right now.
Yeah, I mean, Stray's up 30 CS. Goo is going to come up here. He said, you know what? It is time to try to make the play. Grand challenge going to go down. A whiff there, but meanwhile, fighting everywhere. Icelandic Hero trying to go super deep. Stranglethorn's out. Skytech gets pulled in. Skytech is low. Do they have enough to be able to take him out? Icelandic Hero will die, but it ends up being a 2-for-1 overall, going over to Ole Miss.
Massive wave being missed in the bot lane as well. Such a good play from Icelandic and Rhino to press up there. And even if one person dies, Shoga waiting in the wings for the rest of the kills. And idealistically, Comp 9 would be just roaming to river using his ultimate as a roam tool, but instead he's locked in the lane because Uncle Sam 3-0 on the Azir. If you leave mid lane, he's going to take it. They have 3 grub stacks as well, so it's even harder to kind of leave and help your lanes out as this Xerath. I'm going to be real, he's kind of useless.
Yeah, I mean, sure, he did use his ultimate there, right? You know, he did get a kill, but...
Oh my goodness.
I mean, he is having a rough time, and meanwhile, he's just going to get a kill in a 1v2, and here comes the 2v1 that you called out. Stray does so much damage. Goo does not do nearly enough. He does have the kick available, but this is... Why is he walking forward? Yeah, run away, bro. You are not going to win that fight.
Yeah, and to sort of go back to that point about Comp 9 not having any use as well thus far, stuck in the lane, was forced to burn Flash. That's the only reason why your Uncle Sam didn't get a solo kill on the Xerath in that mid lane engage as well, because the Flash was expended. Now no teleport. You don't have agency to move around the map. Comp 9 doesn't have enough burst damage to cut through your Uncle Sam right now, and going to build up to that Leandre is just going to be so annoying. The wave clear was accelerated by those early kills.
They're going to rip it here. Icelandic Hero taking a lot of damage, but good stuns, good layering there means that Dinka can't go anywhere. Icelandic Hero, though, into the waiting arms of the Xerath.
Dinka.
I think he's going to get chased down. BMFX will be able to rend him away. And yeah, you mentioned it. Dinka very, very low. Has to back again. Is losing so much, down 40 CS. Look at all the plates.
Yeah, I mean, you overload that bottom side with 5, but what do you give up? Oh, well, you give plates to Udyr, you potentially give 6 grubs over to this team, and what have you accomplished? You killed Icelandic Hero, you got a second drag for yourself. Yes, maybe you're ready to start accelerating the game pace, but Uncle Sam has yet to join a fight.
Oh, that was so smooth by Uncle Sam. Nice hop out there from Goo. A little bit of damage coming on the way back. Shogo can't quite land with that arrow. He's been knocking a lot of them, but just a little cross-eyed on that one.
Yeah, a consolation prize, right, for FlyFam. Realistically, that was the only play they could make, right? Find where their numbers advantage is.
Skytech. Oh, he's able to walk out. He gets pulled in by the Fate's Call, and now Goo is here. They are going to be able to knock up and go on to Rhino and claim a big shutdown, but it goes over to Skytech.
Unlucky. Really good picks, right, from FlyFam, but realistically, you've just given so much over resource-wise, gold-wise. I mean, just look at the CS differences across the board. The gold differences are humongous. You can't deal with that. Look how far ahead Stray is. The man is 2,000 gold over Dinka right now. It's like, what do you do? Udyr is going to run through your team, and you can't do anything about it. We talked about it being a short-range composition. Udyr loves that. He throws down the empowered Phoenix form, and you just have to waste away. You either run, or you just eat that whole thing. You tank it, and it's really rough, especially, again, into a champion like Kalista, who thrives on having high move speed. You've got 3 champions here, 4 potentially with the Azir, that can completely negate it.
And Stray's just going right for grubs. He says, hey, listen, no one else is on this side of the map. Goo is going up there to take some Raptors away, but it's not going to be in time. This just means that Ole Miss are going to have so much more side lane pressure. Your solo lanes right now are so far ahead. Azir is 3-0. We talked about Stray being 2,000 gold up. You can just play around Shogo Rhino at this point and continue to give them resources if you're Icelandic Hero, and you're going to be feeling perfectly fine for yourself. Granted, around these grubs, Goo just doesn't even want to contest it. He's going to die if he goes in.
Yeah, and Herald's coming up too. I would argue Rhino should be coming up for this, but realistically, I feel like you mentioned, Adam, that those solo lanes in Uncle Sam and Stray are just so far ahead. I give them possibility to 3v4, even if Skytech comes in. Oh,
Uncle Sam trying to make the play. He gets kicked off to the side, but Icelandic Hero is going to be here to help out. Uncle Sam is going to get the job done onto the Xerath. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Stray, a big teleport. He comes in for the gank, and he's going to be able to pick up 2 himself. The solo laners pick up 4 kills in a matter of, what, 10 seconds?
He came for the get back. He's like, oh, Dinka, TP down here. No, I'm much scarier than that. And they're just going to get another objective on the map. This Fiora, this Xerath, they cannot participate in League of Legends today.
They don't exist at this point. Dinka's just stuck trying to push waves in. He took 0 plates in Fiora versus Udyr there. And as you mentioned, it's a difficult lane for Fiora because she can't deal with the Phoenix stance. But to get 0 plates off of how much Stray has been able to go elsewhere on the map as well is very scary here. This Fiora needs resources, and she has gotten absolutely none of them because, as you mentioned, if Gu were to show up in the first 14 minutes, there was a chance they would get... Stray would get 2. And now with Rift Herald picked up, Twitch chat available for the side of Ole Miss as well.
Uncle
So
Sam's going to do a
risky
lot of
time.
damage
Oh
here.
my goodness.
Icelandic hero is waiting in the wings. Uncle, oh my god, there's
That's
2
what?
auto attacks. He's chunking, man. He's chunking.
Yeah, I love how confident he's playing as well, right? Has a Sand Soldier
It's so
in the
nice.
back pocket just in case. Like he really is just playing 1,000 games of Azir. I'm surprised it has not been banned against him. But like you mentioned, the Orianna performance last game, like it felt.
Oh, Shogo walking forward, getting kicked into the rest of the team.
Nice.
BMFX able to pick up that kill easily. Now Icelandic Hero is the target. Rhino also low, and he goes down. Icelandic Hero flashing toward nobody, deeper into the jungle. KJ, what are you doing? You're only going to give this one away to either BMFX or over to Dinka. They're going to say, Dinka, here, you need a little bit of gold. Here's your stimulus check.
He shouldn't have given that away to the Fiora. He should have tried to execute, potentially giving it to the Lee Sin there. Yeah, Ole
He
Miss.
felt bad.
The one thing they need to not do is not fight without Uncle Sam or Stray, right? Like realistically, that 3-man kill squad of the Sejuani, the Varus, and the Zyra, they just aren't ready to fight. They aren't ready to 3v3, potentially 3v4 here. You need to have either Stray or Uncle Sam with you in some of these more aggressive positions, right? When you're vying for jungle position, when you're vying for vision there, you need to contest with one of your stronger members here. Realistically, Uncle Sam can kind of just split push and cause this chasm of pressure where you see 3 people are having to answer to him just in case Comp 9 gets slid on.
Uh-oh, Dinka.
Oh, Dinka is going to be the one who gets slid on here. A level up here for Stray, and the slows are just so much. Dinka is able to at least get away, but he lost half his health bar for that, and that means you can't farm any longer. You can't split push and get that objective bounty. Your Fiora is not able to split push, right? And what do you pick Fiora for?
Yeah, he took a shot through the
Yeah.
wall there. Call it getting Dinka'd.
I hate you.
I'ma let
That was
that one
so good.
sit.
I was
I'ma
trying
let
to
that
figure
one
out a
sit.
way. I was trying to figure out a way. You know, Shogo hits him with an arrow. You know, you got Dinka'd, right? But
There you go.
you beat me to it, Valorant player.
Yeah, nonetheless, Stray is just... This is ridiculous.
again-
Like, there's 3 members on the bot
Double
side of the
armor.
map,
Hey, he's
and
healing a
Stray
little
doesn't
bit.
care.
He's healing up a little bit, but Stray doesn't even look like he's that fast right now, too. That's the crazy part. He looks like he's like slow and lumbering still, and yet still able to chase down Dinka. Dinka wants this fight.
Dinka.
Doesn't have the
Dinka
backup.
brother.
Dinka's so
He's
tilted.
down. He's getting a little lower. He's getting some healing. Duel's like, I'll throw a Q to help you out, but Dinka's dead, man. Like, what is going on there?
Yeah, he's tilted. As Adam said, he's tilted. That guy
So
is just
tilted.
pissed. That's what Udyr does, right? He wrestles lane control from you. You can never get it back. And once he gets ahead, he's going to build triple armor items, Frostborn, Frozen Heart, Plated Steel Caps. Nobody other than Comp 9 can do a lick of damage to him. And even then, Comp's at like 1.5 to what is going to be Uncle Sam's 2 items. And I'm interested in this build because I saw it earlier. I believe it was an LCK with Showmaker, but he actually ended up going Grasp instead of Fleet Footwork. Uncle Sam's going Tank Zir right now, and it's actually kind of nuts how long he can stick in these fights.
He's gone for the double mask build, you know? It's the Jin build. Behind the mask is another mask. You've got your Leandres, and then behind that's the Abyssal
Kakashi
mask.
builds.
Yeah, exactly. We got
There's
Kakashi.
two
in the
Martys.
lane. He's the
Hey,
strongest
listen.
Kakashi right now. He's 5-0. He can
Yeah,
build
I
whatever
was
the
just
hell he
about-
wants.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. I mean, this man is doing his Kakashi Sensei cosplay because he is the sensei. He is the uncle. He is the dad. So, I mean, Uncle Sam rearing near 200 CS. He's 10 CS a minute. Like, you know, I know we're glazing this man a lot, but we should be. We really should be. This is a transformation of a player that we are seeing before our eyes, and I couldn't be happier, for one.
There are two Uncle Sams, right? The one that plays 1,000 games of his year, and the other one that dances on TikTok. And right now, he's got both masks for them. And Rhino just
Looking for a big
in.
engagement there. He's going to be able to knock up just the Callista. A wayward ultimate going out there by Icelandic Hero. Not sure where he was aiming on that one, but ultimately, Ole Miss able to force them off and force the flash out of Goo.
The question is there a world where FlyFam can kind of come back into this game, right? You pick this Callista Renata lane to kind of dominate early, doesn't really scale well into the late. Eventually, Xerath will start one-shotting your carries regardless. Like, Shogo's not going to have a good time if Comp 9 decides to land spells on him, like right there.
Like Comp 9 is landing spells. However, a couple members going berserk. Icelandic Hero a little too deep, does go down. The Rift Herald gets used. Somebody hop in the Rift Herald, please. Uncle Sam down to about half HP. Stray is full HP, but they're gonna lose Shelly and no value for it. Disappointing.
No Twitch chat. Unfortunately, Yanni's favorite part about it will not come to be.
It's everybody's favorite part
Listen,
about it.
there's 6 grubs. We're gonna get a little bit of Twitch chat. It's just gonna be a small streamer,
Nah,
you know.
bro, that's Justin TV.
Wait, no, I thought it was, what was Facebook's? What was Facebook's
Oh
called?
no.
Facebook game. Oh, Mixer.
Mixer!
You get Mixer when it's just the 6 grubs.
Yeah, it's Mixer only. But we
No,
kind
that's
of
TikTok
saw.
Live.
We kind of saw what. Hey, don't hate on TikTok Live.
Oh.
Some people are like, oh, what? Shogo?
Yeah,
Shogo's
Skytech
good.
getting a little low. So is Shogo. Shogo, you know what? This game seems very unplayable for Varus just because all the things you have to dodge. And the good news here, unlike last game, Shogo has upgraded his boots. He has realized, I need to be able to move.
Yeah, and we kind of saw what FlyFam was able to do a little bit in that mid lane when Comp 9 decided to kind of laser in on Shogo. Realistically, Varus can't do much without Flash. Like, he's got to try to dodge some of those abilities out. And if Comp 9 can land some of these abilities, he can kind of laser in. He will be able to create a numbers advantage for FlyFam. And that's maybe where they can kind of come back into this game. Although the gold lead is 5,000, it hasn't really budged since about the 16-minute mark. So Ole Miss haven't been able to kind of extend their gold lead. And so realistically, if this Fiora gets to a 4 item phase, then she'll be able to start split pushing. Then maybe we can see some of that like 1-4 composition that FlyFam were going for. But it's going to take a long time, right? 10, 15 minutes from now. And the interesting part is Ole Miss needs to rip Baron soon, so it doesn't allow FlyFam to extend that game out to get to what their win conditions are supposed to be.
Look at the gold differences between the top laners. It's now 3,000 gold between them. So despite the gold lead staying the same, it's still growing for the Udyr, and it's going to continue to grow as time goes on.
Turret.
Yeah, you got another turret. He's going to continue to press that forward. He's 2.5 items, and Dingo's nowhere close to that second item right now. So this is just a chasm between these two top laners, and they might have to at this point. At this point, you need a desperation play for FlyFam because you're just hemorrhaging out in your solo lanes of note. Like, it's a third item for your Uncle Sam at this point. This is so difficult to deal with, and they just can't even rip it because there's so much pressure coming through from the poke now that Shogo provides.
They did pull Stray's TP, keep that in mind, but during that time, Dragon was taken there by Shogo with a little help from Uncle Sam, so 2 Drakes apiece for both of these squads. And okay, so it's like you traded Dragon, you got a TP, and you cleared out a pink ward. You know, when you're down by this much gold, I guess that's worth it, but that is very disappointing at the very least.
Yeah, Stonks question mark, I dare say. It's Kanik Ruker now complete for Stray. Has a Bramble Vest now, so Dinka can't do anything. Dinka's done. His game's over.
Dinka can't do anything. Comp 9 can't do anything, right? Burst? Oh, yeah, just Ruker's just going to eat all that up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And yeah, Stray's kind of unstoppable. I guess the positive is, like you mentioned, right? A lot of that gold is sequestered onto Stray, right? 3,500, maybe 4 now. So there is a world where if Stray's not in a team fight because the TP advantage is down, that FlyFam can do something. But Marty's a whole nother problem, right? Uncle Sam is 2,500 nearly, almost up on Comp 9. Comp 9 has to be laser point onto Shogo or onto Uncle Sam. But realistically, Azir's built tank. He's got Abyssal Mask. Shogo's the only viable target for Comp 9. Maybe Rhino, but the thing is, you take out Rhino, it doesn't really matter. There's still 4. Yeah, it's Syra. It's Syra.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Oh, Dinka, get out of there, buddy. Stray is looking to run you down. He's doing the stance dance. He baits out the parry, but Stray not going to be able to do anything more. He's just letting Dinka know who's boss.
Stray's been boss for a while here. I don't know. Stray has solo killed Faker. Has Dinka done that? That's the real question here.
I don't think so.
And
He hasn't solo killed Stray either.
Would you want to talk about how, like, I was not a fan of Stray back on Udyr, right? When the first OQs came out, they lost those games. He's just going to go 1v3?
He's going to get kicked over the wall. Goo realized you got to get him out of there. Stranglethorn's going out. Not going to knock up anybody, but everybody getting slowed. People going berserk as well. BMFX on the backside trying to survive for right now. Isolating Hero dies from long range, but Stray gets on the Skytech, and now he's going to turn to Goo. But BMFX allowed to hit just unabated, but he does die. He's not able to get bailed out. They take out the Lee Sin on the back end, and now it's Competition 9 who's got to flash away. He's trying to escort Dinka out of there, but guess who's chasing him down? Udyr doing his stance dance. He stuns him up, and he was going to burn. He lives. Oh, he lives with enough blood in his big toe to keep him upright. Dinka lives. Uncle Sam sliding through has realized. I guess he thought he was gonna hit Dinka there. He's like, I'm gonna get him right over the wall.
Yeah, probably thought he was backing in the bush there. But did you see Stray? I don't think he lost any HP that whole team fight.
He's back to full off of a minion wave.
Yeah,
TP. TP. Double TP.
Oh, here they come.
Okay.
They are going to get him from behind. They have Uncle Sam's turret to keep them upright
Stray's
for right
TP's
now.
coming up.
But Comp 9,
Stray's
is he
here.
going to be able to land the poke? But here comes Stray, as you mentioned. Gets hand shook away. BeamFX and Goo are cut off. Uncle Sam going in, getting low, has to flash away, but has nowhere to go to be safe. Meanwhile, Icelandic Hero trying to join the rest of the fight. Shogo still alive, dealing a lot of damage off to the side. A couple low members. Go is so low, can't do all that much. Shutdown going over to BMFX. Icelandic Hero dies. Uncle Sam's in a little bit of trouble, but Shogo hitting for free on the other side. BMFX is the next target. Can Shogo take him down? It's a triple kill for Shogo. Shogo looking to potentially secure his penta. He's got a quadra kill. He couldn't get it in the first game that we casted, but can he get it in this game? He does land the Q, which means that Dinka can't execute. Rhino trying to get closer and closer to be able to take him out. The engage goes on to Shogo. Shogo trying to survive for right now, and it's a pentakill for Shogo.
Pentakill! A delayed one for sure, but I mean, Shogo just allowed to free fire like Legolas in that fight. You're dealing with Uncle Sam. You're dealing with Stray. There's a third carry for Ole Miss, and he goes by the name of Shogo. I mean, just insane for him. Like you said, picking up that pentakill. And yeah, I mean, that was FlyFam's best chance because Icelandic here was so far behind. Stray tanked so much, Icelandic was able to come from base back to that top lane in record time. I mean, it was just insane how tanky this Ole Miss squad is.
It is pretty crazy, man. I mean, this is a drubbing now. All of a sudden, this game was out of reach before, but now everybody's fed, right? Not just Uncle Sam, not just Stray, but you get all these kills onto Shogo. He's almost done his Muramana item. He'll be at 4 items, ready to go, ready to do whatever is needed to get the dub. Baron's still on the table too. BMFX gets the slow onto Stray and is like, guys, let's do something. Meanwhile, on the side, Goo very low. Goo with the kick out, but he goes in, he takes the Q onto Shogo, and he dies for it.
Oh, that's a little rough. I mean, FlyFam, at least they're trying to do something, right? They're not really just like lying down and dying. They're looking for numbers advantage. They're looking for picks here. They've got to try to look for these like Kalista Zerath picks where they throw the Kalista ult on top of somebody alone and maybe look to like burst them out completely. It's just rough because Comp 9 still working on that magic pen item, right? Blighted Jewel in his pocket, probably going for Crypt Bloom most likely, but it's a long ways before he gets that. And you've got 3 Ocean Drakes now on the side of Ole Miss. If they get to Ocean Soul, we talked about how unkillable Stray and the rest of Ole Miss is. If they get Ocean Soul, I don't think they're going to go below half HP in some of these fights.
And as this sort of siege will continue from the side of Ole
BMFX.
Miss. Oh, never mind.
BMFX is in so much trouble. He's cut off from the rest of the team. Shogo does go berserk. He's beating the crap out of his buddy Rhino, and he will take him down. This is what happens when your bot laners just getting a bit of an argument. Uncle Sam pushing everybody away, but Goose sticks on top of him straight. Teleports in. Can they turn this fight? I feel like they can. Shogo does so much damage, and they kill Goo in transit. Now, who is going to be the next target? Skytech, about half HP, trying to do as much damage to Stray as possible, but BMFX gets stunned. BMFX, he does not get bailed out, and Skytech gets popped on top of it, too. And Comp9 is getting run down, stunned up, and Shogo, I thought he was going to leave that one for Stray, but he led him astray. He was able to pick up his own triple kill.
They 2v4 there, by the way. Like, Uncle Sam died almost instantly. Icelandic was out. Rhino died, too. I mean, that's just how far ahead Stray and Shogo and the rest of Ole Miss are. Yeah, Dinka did get some solo gold for himself on that Tier 2 topside, 700 big bucks, but it's not enough, right? It's just simply not enough. This was a rare moment for Ole Miss in this game where they kind of just went in one by one and then finally were like, wait, we could lose the game if Shogo or the rest of the team die here. They just need to kind of take Baron methodically. They've kind of dragged this game out a little too long, and their apprehensiveness around taking the Baron, letting it rip, is kind of my only critique, realistically. And I know Colomer's going to, crack the belt on them. You guys should be like ripping Baron at 22. Look how far ahead you are. Don't give them ways to get back in, and don't let Dinka and Comp9 scale and give them that ability to kind of one-shot your backline. Yeah, and finally, thank you. Rip the Baron, please.
Skytech taking a lot of damage. Goo trying to get close, but Stray is able to zone everybody off. Goo
Good job from
kicks
Stray.
Rhino into the pit. Oh, almost stolen away by the Xerath. Goo able to slide out down his flash, but the Baron does go to Ole Miss.
Yeah, and now the siege will kind of start to set itself up, right? You've got Azir, you got Shogo or Varus here. They'll be able to kind of barrel down mid or go bottom lane if they want to, because mid inhibitor is open. Stray should be splitting. He doesn't have TP, neither does Uncle Sam. So depending on who you want around this dragon coming up in the next 2 minutes, I would argue Stray is a little bit more important than Uncle Sam right now because of how tanky it is. And you just saw what Stray and Shogo could do. Uncle Sam still can die, still not as tanky. So if he can draw, like we said, that cavern of pressure into the top side or even in the mid lane, should be more than enough for the rest of Ole Miss. Secure this bottom lane turret, pick up the dragon on the backside and go for mid inhib later. Or they can get double inhib into dragon after.
Ooh, almost got ran down there, by the way. Stray is just running at him. Now level 18. This turret is so low, they're certainly going to take it out. Meanwhile, Uncle Sam could be in a little bit of trouble. His turret is finally up.
Look
and
at
that's
that.
a nice usage of his ultimate, able to get the kill with that Emperor's Divide. Rhino comes in to clean up Goo, and now the engage is not over yet. Getting pulled in is Skytech. BMFX trying to stay alive, but Comp9 is dead. It's a 5v2 BMFX against the world. Skytech doing what he can to help him out, but the stun is there. Rhino super low. Rhino is dead. BMFX, the bailout. He's not enough. Shogo takes him out, and Skytech burns away with Rhino putting the cherry on top. And Ole Miss gets the job done in 32.5 minutes. They are 4-0.
Incredible
Just
stuff.
Well played. Yeah, well played. I mean, they've, like you said, have looked like a well-oiled machine, and they showed it here once again. Now they have to face off against the other 4-0 team in the bracket here, and that 5-0 run, very, very possible. Yanni, I don't think you jinxed Colomer in the squad just yet.
Not quite, but they do have to go up against their nemesis. They have to take on Big Bad Winthrop for the 5-0. These guys went at it in the quarterfinals, and Winthrop was just barely able to get a 2-1 series victory and move on to the finals en route to their second place finish. But guys, this is a new look Ole Miss. This is their chance to put everybody on notice and say that they can get the job done this time around against the Big Bad Wolf.
Yeah,
And I
honestly,
talked about...
great stuff.
Oh, yeah, go.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
stuff
Oh,
from everyone. Yo, I'm still here. I'm just updating the sheet right now. That's why I wasn't saying much at the end there.
Okay, that makes sense.
I was occupied with things. But honestly, great
Fair
stuff
enough.
coming through from Ole Miss. And for them to go 4-0 is incredible. Not only does it make a statement. It means something different when you are 4-0, and if you end up being 4-1, so be it. But it's better than that than starting off like we saw last time, 1-1, and then facing weaker teams to get to that 4-1 spot. I'm curious to see if they can convert against Winthrop. Winthrop, I think, should have been #1 team. All things considered, especially despite them losing to Aporia Blue Otter in the last one. We saw that Blue Otter lost to Misfits in round 1, which was a big surprise, but nonetheless, we'll see if this collegiate matchup ends up delivering on all cylinders as we want.
I want to talk about that, by the way. Like, Misfits being the last seed is a little like, I would say deceptive, right? Because they're actually a pretty good team. Like, player by player, pound for pound. I kind of feel bad for Blue Water. Don't get me wrong. You lose, even if you are the 1 seed. I do want to pick your brain a little bit because you are on that CLOL committee, or the CLOL Collegiate Hub Twitter power ranking committee.
That's
and I know
me.
you guys ranked Winthrop higher than Ole Miss. I kind of talked about how Ole Miss feel like the gatekeepers, right? If you're better than them, you probably have a legitimate shot at winning the CLOL championship. If you can't beat them, you're not legit, right? You can't do it, right? Even if you are Fisher and all these kind of teams in collegiate. How comparable are Winthrop and Ole Miss? Could you have swapped them? It would have been 3-4, and would that been fair? Or do you think Winthrop has just had that ever so slight edge over them, even in regards to not just them in the series, but also kind of like if you look at their players pound for pound and kind of how they've performed across all the different competitions that they've played in, I guess?
I will take a quote from Yanni, and this is a quote that he has used several times. If you don't win, you ain't in. And honestly, Winthrop beating Ole Miss, and you just put it at that, if you don't win, you ain't in there. And that's what matters at the end of the day. However, that's basically it for game number 4. We'll get game 5 set up. It will be, we're going to do Phoenix 5 versus Castleberry, because that's a 2-2 matchup. And Winthrop's playing Ole Miss, and Summer can cover that one. So we'll be back after this break. I'm going to get that VOD.
See you soon.